Why is it so hard to quit porn addiction? I know from my own experience with porn addiction how hard it can be to stay away from porn, to not relapse, to keep your motivation up, to fight the urge, whatever it is that this addiction throws at you. I've been there for several years of my life, being insanely addicted at one point. And I tried a lot of things in these years to get out of the addiction. And some of them worked a bit, some did not really work at all. Some helped me for some time, but then I relapsed again. And so in this video, I really want to share with you from my own experience and from the compassion that I feel for people being in this addiction, what really helped me, what really did the trick for me, what understanding that I needed in order to now stay away from the addiction. And not only that, but actually creating or getting the life that I really want outside of porn addiction. I think a lot of the videos that are out there are addressing the issue of porn addiction focused mainly on the level of the dopamine hijack, the physical addictiveness of porn. Some people are touching upon the fact that porn addiction is also a coping mechanism that we use to get away from negative emotions, from feelings that we don't want to feel. And then we get into this cycle where we are kind of using the high from porn addiction to get away from the feelings. But I haven't really found anyone yet address the true importance of this feeling aspect, this emotional aspect of the porn addiction. And so I think the information that I'm going to give you in this video, you will not have heard yet. And so let's dive right into it. Why is it so hard to stop porn addiction, and what can you do to overcome it lastingly and sustainably? So in order to make my point about porn addiction really clear, I will have to go into a bit of background observations. So let's zoom out for a moment away from porn addiction towards a more general observation of life. When we look at life, we can make the observation that life seems to be geared towards growth. Let's take a seed, for example. If you put a seed in the right environment, it will just grow into a tree, bearing fruit, making even more seeds, and then them again growing into trees. So we could say that in the seed, the tree is somehow already there. The seed knows what it can become, what it could be. And as soon as the environment is perfect, the conditions are good for the seed to become the tree, it will just do so. Nobody needs to tell the seed how to become a tree. It's naturally inbuilt. It knows what to do. Like knowing, not on a mental level, but on an instinctive level. It just does it. It's just a natural drive. As soon as the conditions are met, bam, there it goes. And it becomes the tree over the time that it needs to do so. And the same is true for human beings. When we are born as babies, we are hardly able to do anything ourselves. But then, as time goes on, we grow into more and more and more accomplished versions of ourselves, becoming a better and better version as time goes on. And this is just an inbuilt natural drive, is how life force expresses itself through us. Life force in us, in humans, wants us to become more and more accomplished and more successful and better versions of ourselves as time goes on. And we want the same. We somehow know, on an instinctive level, we know what we can be, what we could become. And we want to achieve that. And as soon as the conditions are met, we just become that. It's natural, it's instinctive. We don't have to be taught how to do this. It's just becoming more and more ourselves. Now here's the thing. Why is this connected to porn addiction? There are many things in especially our early childhood years that can stunt and hinder this natural and instinctive movement towards growth and expansion, towards becoming more and more who we could be. And so the things that I understand now that can really stunt your growth and your development are developmental trauma, the lack of intimacy in your family of origin, and something the psychologist Gordon Neufeld calls peer culture or peer orientation. These three things can have a huge impact on your ability to grow into the person that you can become. I will just touch on these three topics shortly in the sake of brevity in this video, but I will leave you further resources in the description if you want to find out more about these things. Developmental trauma will leave us with the feeling and the beliefs that we shouldn't show up with the wants and needs that we have. It leaves us with the belief that we cannot get what we want in life and that it's not okay to want what we want. It leaves us in a state where we're hiding away our authentic expression in a means to protect ourselves from further harm, emotional harm. That makes total sense as kids when we are growing up in a hostile environment. But further on as adults, it actually hinders and blocks our development and our expansion. Same goes with lack of intimacy in your family of origin. Intimacy means being seen for who you are, being known, being understood, people really wanting to see where you're coming from and seeing you in the best light. If that's not there, if there's a lack of intimacy, you miss out on the proper non-judgmental environment that would allow you to explore yourself and express yourself and figure out who you are in connection with other people and being mirrored by these people in a positive way, which makes it easier for you to understand who you are. Same goes with peer culture and peer orientation. What this means is that we start to orient ourselves around our peers, the people the same age as us, and we start to sacrifice our authenticity and our integrity just in order to fit in, to belong, to be part of the cool kids, whatever it is. We start to sacrifice our individuality in order to secure attachment with our peers. And all of these things, developmental trauma, lack of intimacy in your family of origin, peer culture, and peer orientation, leads us to become completely stuck and stunted in our personal development. We cut off from the life force or our life energy that wants to express itself through us in this unique way that is us. This leaves us cut off from the main drive and the main want that we instinctively have, because we are alive, living systems, bodies, beings, persons. And so this leaves us in a huge dilemma, in an internal emotional dilemma, because on the one hand, we are completely stuck. We can't grow into the fuller and fuller expression of who we are. We are not able to be authentic. We can't move towards becoming the person that we want to be, that we could be, that we can instinctively sense that we could become. That's because we are shit scared to be authentic. We are so scared to show ourselves to the world and to other people. Because in the past, we experienced rejection, hatred, being ostracized, being left alone, being ignored. As soon as we showed ourselves, that's the impact of developmental trauma, peer orientation, lack of intimacy. And that's absolutely no joking matter if you are a small child and you don't have anyone around you that helps you deal with that. That's a life-threatening experience. We completely freeze up when we experience this. And so we're shit scared. For a good reason, we're shit scared to express ourselves and to show our authentic version. And on the other hand of this dilemma is an insane pressure that builds and builds and builds throughout your life to express yourself, There's this energy, this life force energy that just wants to get out. It wants you to become the best version of yourself. And you want to do that. It's instinctive. You can't do anything about it. You can't argue with this energy. You can't say, oh, well, I'm just going to be relaxed here and just going to chill out and be okay with what I have. It's okay. Like, I don't need more development. I don't need to grow into who I could become. I mean, good luck with them. You're arguing with life. You're arguing with yourself. You're going against your own self nature. It's not possible. You can try to do that, but you're not going to succeed. So that's the dilemma you find yourself in. Wanting to express yourself, this energy pushing like mad from the inside out, and then no clue how to do it. Completely scared to show yourself because of good reason, because you experienced stuff in your childhood that wasn't funny at all. And so you have this insane pressure in your system that is there constantly. And that's depression, right? That's what the other people that are talking about feeling hopeless, feeling helpless, feeling desperate, feeling depressed. That's what they talk about, right? But they don't really give you the understanding of what it is. Here's what it is. So that's depression. It's overwhelmed. You are overwhelmed because you fucking want to be yourself. You want to get out. You want to express yourself to the world. You want to grow into who you could become. You want to be successful, right? But you don't know how to do it. And the don't know how to do it is because of experiences that you made in the past and the protective mechanisms that you had to build up in order to survive, literally. Okay. And now imagine or experience it. You're in this situation with this insane pressure inside your system. You want to express yourself. You want to feel alive, but you can't because of the protective mechanisms that are there. And now, here along comes porn. And what does porn do to you? It makes you feel insanely alive, right? It gives you this energy. It gives you the thing that you think you're seeking, right? That's what it suggests to you. Here's your connection to life. Here's your ticket to feeling alive again, right? So let's look at what makes porn so compelling. And there's 3 things that I think makes it so compelling. The first one is the most obvious one. It's sexuality. Sexuality makes us feel really alive. So as soon as we start watching porn, we can get this boost of aliveness, and we're actually craving that. Yeah, it's related to dopamine, of course, but actually it's not the dopamine itself. It's the intensity of aliveness that we can feel. We could also go for adrenaline rushing activities, and some people do. I mean, I did. I was watching porn on the one hand, but then I was also seeking out really intense experiences the rest of my life because I just wanted to feel alive, because I didn't, if I didn't do these things. So that's one aspect. There's another aspect to sexuality that is often not talked about. If the movement towards more growth and expansion is blocked in us, if our development is blocked in us, there's one thing that we can still do in order to somehow fulfill life's intrinsic purpose of growth, which is reproduction. So there's another level of the pull towards sexuality that porn kind of like plays into, which is that we feel when we watch porn that at least we're doing some aspect of this movement towards growth and expansion. We're at least fulfilling some aspect of that. So that's the sexuality aspect. Then there's the second aspect, which is accessibility. When you're feeling depressed because you're overwhelmed because of this pressure that I just described before, you want to get away from that as quickly as possible. And that's your baseline experience. This pressure is always there. And so the only thing that you can do, because you don't know how to break out of this pressure dilemma, this emotional dilemma, sustainably, the only thing you can do is you can give yourself at least some glimpses of relaxation. And so accessibility comes into play where when you can have porn whenever you want, and you're stuck on this baseline of this emotional dilemma, this pressure, it's totally natural for you to go towards porn or have porn as often as you can in order to just get some relaxation into your system, right? And then the third aspect, which is for me the most important one, but that is often or not at all talked about in all the other videos that I've found, it's this: mother projections, right? What does porn actually suggest to you? What does it give you on an emotional level? It's this experience. You're being completely wanted. You are being invited to be completely yourself and enjoy yourself. These people in these videos, they do whatever you want for you. They're there for you, right? Anytime you want them, whoop, they're there. And you don't have to do anything for them to be there. That's the experience of the child with the good mother. That's the experience that we would have needed in our childhood with our mother. She just holding the space for us, holding us, giving us nurturance, giving us the feeling of being held, warmth, understanding, being seen, being wanted. All of these things are what we seek from our mother. Love. What are we seeking in jerking off to pornography? The high. What is there in the high, in the orgasm that we have if we get off to porn? It's an approximation of the love of our mother that we didn't get. So what makes porn so compelling is that it suggests to our brain that we are getting what we really, really need and want in order for us to be able to become the person that we want to become, that we could be. Because that's what is needed in the first place. It's intimacy, it's being seen, it's being loved, it's being held, it's getting the right environment. And the right environment for a child to grow is the love of the mother. And so porn really plays into this. It's really wicked. It really plays into this, suggesting to our brain that that's what we're getting. But we're actually not. We're not getting anything from porn. It's completely empty. There's no love there at all. But our brain thinks that that's what we're getting. And so we go on seeking and seeking it out again and again because we want to fulfill this drive within our system to become the person that we could become. But it's never going to work out with porn. We have to do that another way. And there are other ways. And so let me show you how you can address this emotional dilemma in your system successfully, sustainably. And so porn doesn't even have to be a thing anymore, because you're really addressing the problem, the issue, the addiction of porn at the root cause. If you can grow out of this dilemma and become the person that you could be, there's absolutely no need for porn in your life anymore. It just becomes a non-thing, right? So let's go into this. So when we want to get out of porn addiction, overcome porn addiction lastingly and sustainably, we have to engage in practices that will help us to free up this life force energy in us, that will help us to free up the movement in us towards more and more and fuller expressions of ourselves, towards more authenticity, towards more growth and expansion. So let me go through various things that you can do in order to achieve this. The first thing that I would focus on is integrating developmental trauma, healing from your past emotional wounds from your childhood. And hands down, the best method that I could find until now in my whole experience is the IFS, the internal family systems. That can really help you to work with your protective mechanisms that hide away your authenticity, and to also work with the underlying emotional wounds that got you to protect yourself in the first place, because you had to, as a child, you had to do this. And with the internal family systems, we can work with the protectiveness, but also with the emotional wounds in a very, very effective way, integrating these things, which leads you to become more open and spontaneous, more able to be in connection with this flow of life and your movement towards growth and authenticity. So if you can find someone near you who works with the internal family system, I would highly suggest you do some sessions with them, focusing on the topics that are most pressing for you. They will all have a relationship with porn addiction, so it doesn't have to be focused solely or exclusively on porn addiction. You can really work with the things that are most pressing to you, and that will have an impact on your porn addiction as well. I also offer online one-on-one IFS sessions, so you can also reach out to me if that's of interest to you. If you can't afford therapy sessions like this at the moment, I will also put a link to a book into the video description. It's a book that really walks you through the whole IFS process step by step, so that you can do it yourself at home. That really works as well. I did that for myself too. It's quite effective as well. I always like it to do it with somebody else, because you just have another resonance. There's some level of connection as well, which is a huge issue or a huge topic with porn addiction as well. So I recommend you do that as the main focus. The second focus would be for me to engage in a practice that is oriented towards connection, towards authenticity, and towards working with fear and shame in connection with other people. Because when we have experienced developmental trauma and lack of intimacy and peer orientation, connection is a really hard and difficult topic. There's often a lot of shame and fear around being in connection with other people. I know this again from my own personal experience. I was socially awkward like hell before I started engaging in these practices. There's one that I want to recommend the most, which is called circling or transformational connection. There's a trademark issue going on around that, but it's the same practice basically. I really want to recommend that. It really helped me tremendously with my shame and fear around connection, with becoming more authentic, with getting in touch with what I want and what I need internally, and then bringing that out into the world, starting to shape my experience, self-authoring my experience. So I really want you to consider that. There's either in-person events that you can definitely find near you, or online events if you are in a more remote area. I will also put links to offers into the description so you can check that out. The third thing I would have you focus on is engaging in something that makes it more clear to you what you want and what your goals are in life, that helps you to orient in various areas of your life towards what you want. There are multiple tools out there that you can find that help you self-author your future. I think there's also one from Jordan Peterson that's probably quite famous. There are other tools as well. I will also put a link in the description to something that I found. You can really use that to describe the future that you want, which will help you to act in alignment with this future, this envisioned future, and will also bring you possibilities that are in alignment with this future. I would suggest you do this only when you did the other things and not mainly focus on that, because it can be really hard to figure out what you want if you haven't yet worked with the trauma aspect and the intimacy and authenticity aspects of this experience. So this would be really a third step for me and not come first, as some videos out there place it and just claim, oh, you just have to find your purpose, and figure out what you want. So there you go, easy, just do it. I wouldn't put it that way. I would really say, focus first on the internal emotional pressure, this emotional dilemma, which you do by working with your developmental trauma and with your with your experience around intimacy and authenticity. And then out of that comes a way easier approach and a way easier connection to your wants and your goals and your vision for your future. So really make it that way around. Something else that I want to add is that I'm working on a video course that I will publish sometime this year, I hope, where I will dive into full depth of all of the things that I shared in this video. So I will dive into more depth around the whole mother projection issues and the other aspects of why pornography is so addictive, so that you can really understand in depth what's happening there. And I will also dive in depth into the tools that I just shared here. Will give you everything that you need to be able to apply these tools for yourself. And I will also want to create a community aspect to this video course where we can then get in connection with other people who are in the same boat, using the tools that I will present in this video course, and really helping each other grow out of porn addiction and starting to create the life that we really want to live, becoming the people and the persons that we really want to be. And I'm really excited for this. So I just wanted to share this here as well, that this is going to be coming out soon. And there you have it. That's my take on why porn is so hard to quit, how you can do it, and what you really focus on, which I think is just not addressed by so many other videos out there. I hope you enjoyed this video and got a deeper insight into what is happening with your porn addiction. And please let me know what you think about this in the comments. Reach out to me if you want to share anything or talk about anything, or also get a one-on-one session with the IFS or circling, whatever it is. Reach out to me. I'm happy to be there. And I see you again soon, I hope. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this content, please leave a like down below so that other people in the same situation can find this content easier. And if you want to have further updates on this topic or any other things that I'm talking about, please subscribe to the channel, and I see you soon. All the best and have a good time.